Shayton. I'm down here with Cameron, and he is ready for the Waterburger Fry Shuffle. All right, Cameron, I'm going to show you 3 French fry boxes up there on the screen. One of them's going to have fries in it. You got to keep your eye on that box. Are you ready? Okay, let's take a look. It's starting in number 3, so keep your eyes on that box. All right, it moved around a lot. Cameron, do you know where it is?
2.
He says 2. Is it in number 2? And it is. That means that you are going to be the winner of this Waterburger prize pack. Back up to you, Shane.
As I mentioned, folks, we are dealing with some technical difficulties here in the broadcast booth. Not a perfect system, but we are back here at Constellation Field live for the bottom of the second inning. Skeeters hanging on to a 1-0 lead over the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. Brandon Compton on the mound. James Loney at the plate. He's got a 1-1 count here in the bottom of the second inning. Loney takes that one outside for ball 2. So a nice running grab from Cody Ashley ended things in the top of the second as James Loney hits that one squarely down the line. That's a base hit. It's going to go down to the right field corner. That is trouble. Loney, he's around second, and he wants 3 of the Skeeters first baseman. He goes for it, the head for a slide, and he's in there. A triple for James Loney with nobody down here. Look at the big fella go. James Loney, the triple to get things going. Are you kidding me? Gotta love that. One of the more veteran players on this team, in the kind way of saying one of the older guys on this team, but don't let that fool you. A triple for James Loney to open things in the third inning. My technical director, Brandon MacArthur, has informed me we are back on the air as well. So I believe you guys are hearing me, and that's a good time to join me because James Loney has just tripled to lead us off here, and Albert Cordero steps in and he takes strike 1 on the outer edge. As I mentioned, we apologize for those technical difficulties. It's a lot of people doing a lot of different jobs around here at the ballpark, everyone doing their best, but we are back. And as I mentioned, James Loney, a triple to get things going. He spanked that down the right field line. And Albert Cordero swings and misses. That ball gets away from Charlie Valerio. And now Loney's going to try to score on the wild pitch, and he stands up. James Loney crosses home plate, and that will give the Skeeters a 2-0 lead here in the second inning. James Loney burning up the base paths here. The triple to start things off. That one skipped away from Charlie Valerio off the hand of Brandon Compton, and Albert Cordero at the plate watches it go, and Loney strides in with run number 2 here tonight. James Loney off to a hot start himself. That must not go without being noted. Loney entered hitting .333 through the early goings of this year, as Albert Cordero chops that one foul. James Loney swinging a hot bat like we mentioned and gets things started here with the triple. Comes around to score on the wild pitch while Albert Cordero at the plate. Oh, 2 the count now to Cordero. Brandon comes on the mound and Albert gives that one a ride. Deep center field, but Corey Vaughn is under it a few steps in front of the warning track there out near dead central, and he'll take care of it for out number 1 here. And James Loney, I know, as we mentioned, one of the older guys on this team. That obviously doesn't mean you still can't flash the speed from time to time. The second triple, I should say, of the year. Juan Silverio with a triple in the 9th inning last night. That was the first of the season. So James Loney does have 21 career triples at the major league level, and his last actually came in 2016 with the New York Mets. So he certainly had that before. He did go from 2015, or from 2012 to 2015 without hitting a triple. So not always there. He had 6 triples in 2008. That was his career high with the Dodgers, as Cody Stanley takes that one inside. So he's up 2-0 here. Brandon Compton running into some early trouble. First inning, Cody Ashe, the Ashe Smashy, got the Skeeters out to a 1-0 lead, and then James Loney, the triple, and comes around to score a wild pitch. And Stanley rips that under the glove of Angelis Nina, hit right at him, but skits on by into right field. We'll see how that one is scored, but Cody Stanley is aboard here with a 1-out base runner for the Skeeters. See, as I mentioned, how they plan on scoring that one. Josh Prince, the Skeeters hitting coach, second baseman tonight, steps on in for his first at-bat of the game. First pitch from Compton to Prince is in there for a strike. Cody Stanley awarded a hit. That ball was hit right on the nose, and can't disagree with that whatsoever, as it got under the glove of Angelis Nina, who had a pretty tough in-between hop there. Not much he could do himself. So 0-1, Josh Prince. That one's over the head of Nina and into right center field. Cody Stanley's got a hold up there at second base. So a pair of singles here with 1 out in the bottom of the second. The Skeeters bats have come to life since that rally in the 7th inning last night, which netted 5 runs. And they haven't stopped hitting since. So CJ McElroy going to step in now for his first at-bat of the game. Clear Creek High School alumni, League City native. Oh, pitch to McElroy's hit on a few hops. It's going to be a tough double play. They'll go to second. Edwin Garcia has no play. The back pick, a nice heads-up play from Garcia, trying to get Stanley napping over there at third. No dice. Stanley's back, so runners in the corners here. There was no chance to get McElroy, one of the fastest players on the Skeeters team and in the Atlantic League. And Nina, Josh Prince with also a heads-up play. He wasn't going straight to the bag. Nina could have just tagged him and had an easy double play, but Prince put on the brakes and forced Nina to have to go to second base where Garcia was standing and tried to back pick Cody Stanley, but Stanley with a heads-up play to stay right close to the bag. So Jared Mitchell will come out with runners on the corners here and 2 away in the bottom of the second. Skeeters lead 2-0 over to the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. And the first pitch from Compton to Mitchell misses inside. Jared Mitchell, former first-round pick of the Chicago White Sox, was their number 1 prospect, and he was the number 55 prospect overall in baseball prior to 2010. Those rankings come to us via Baseball America. So 1-0 to Mitchell, and on the move is C.J. McElroy. Valerio bobbles the ball, won't even wager a throw. So C.J. McElroy, with his first stolen base of the year, takes second. Gets rid of that forced play there. So runners at second and third, 2 away, 2 runs in for the Skeeters, and the count is 2-0 to Jared Mitchell, who conveniently rocks the number 2. I feel like the number 2 shows up a lot at a baseball park. I mean, that's just the way it goes, because the count can only go to 3 strikes or to 4 balls, so you obviously find yourself in a lot of 2-2 counts. Obviously, you can have 2 outs, 2 guys on base, and now the number 2 for Mitchell, who takes for a strike on the inside part of the plate. Jared played for the Revolution last year out in New York, hit .275 with a .363 on base, had 6 home runs, 44 RBIs, played 117 games in the 126-game season. So a pivotal piece for the York Revolution, who did not make the postseason last year. The 2-1 to Mitchell, misses downstairs. So 3-1 now from the former big leaguer Brandon Compton, returning to the Blue Crabs after he spent some time with the Blue Jays last year. Angeles Nina playing a little bit closer to the first base side of second base as Garcia shades toward the middle just a hair, and the 3-1 fastball. Mitchell didn't believe it caught the inside part of the plate, but home plate umpire Jimmy Tatum did, so the count will be full here. Runners will not be going as first base is still open. So 3-2, 2 down here in the bottom of the second inning. The Shadows have now made their way across the pitcher's mound, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem here for the hitters going forward. James Loney led off the inning with the triple, came around to score on a wild pitch, and the Skeeters are still threatening here. The 3-2 from Compton misses low, and Jared Mitchell will be aboard with a 2-out walk. Bases are full of Skeeters as Ryan Court steps on in with 2 down here. Court grounded out to Angeles Nina back in the top of the first. 2-out home run from Cody Ashley last inning started the scoring for the Skeeters tonight, so they've already had a 2-out knock to their credit, and let's see if they can get a little more 2-out magic here with Ryan Court, former Chicago Cubs farmhand, stepping into the dish, rocking the number 10. As the Skeeters are wearing their blue alternate uniforms tonight for the first time of the year. First pitch from Compton is downstairs for a ball. Ryan Court said earlier the broadcast got his first knock of the year, a ground rule double in that 7th inning last night, which kick-started one of the more impressive rallies, at least in my 2 years, I've seen from the Skeeters. Obviously, there's a rally in the playoffs last year in the Freedom Division Championship Series that it does not beat, but Court grounds it up the middle. It's going to be trouble. The diving Garcia is not able to get it. In comes Stanley to score. Following him is McElroy. The throw to Mitchell. It's over the head of Frank Martinez at third base, but it kicks off the dugout facing in. Okay, we'll have to hold Mitchell there at third, but Ryan Court with a 2-run, 2-out single, and the Skeeters now lead the Blue Crabs 4-0. The Skeeters bats have come alive after only one-run effort in game 1 of the season. They scored 6 runs in the final 3 innings last night, and tonight they have already scored 4 runs here with 2 outs in the bottom of the second inning. The 2-out damage continues as the Skeeters are not afraid. When they're down, they'll find a way to get it done, even if there is 2 outs. Cody Ashley now steps in. His 2-out solo home run opened the scoring tonight. Parked one out there near the sport court in left center. First pitch from Compton to him, misses inside for a ball. And this is kind of what we were expecting, folks. This is a Skeeters lineup full of major leaguers, full of guys like Jared Mitchell, who have produced at this league, guys like Albert Cordero, Alvar Rondon, who were members of the Skeeters last year and part of their championship club, as Ashley takes for strike 1. The only person we're still missing is Anthony Jansanti, the 2018 Skeeters MVP. He is on the disabled list right now, but we will probably be seeing him here before too long. Joining him on the DL are Danny Reynolds and Jeff Johnson, the 2 right-handed relievers. Again, sure they will be back here before not too long. So Ashley steps out, gets his time. Ashley rocking the high black socks with his Skeeters blue uniform. The Nebraska alumni, Cornhusker. Plenty of Major League experience, 5 years with the Philadelphia Phillies. Also spent a year with the Chicago White Sox back in 2017. Ashley takes inside for a ball, so 2-1. The count, runners on second and third. Jared Mitchell's over there at third base. Ryan Court over at second. He singled to score 2 and came over to second base on the throwing error from center fielder Corey Vaughn, which just about allowed Mitchell to score from third, but thankfully for the Blue Crabs, I guess, it kicked off the dugout facing as Ashley skies that one to right field. He's going to stay in fair territory near the first base side. John Griffin is under it, and John Griffin comes up with it. So the Skeeters pile on 3 runs in the second inning. The 2-run single from Ryan Court, and James Loney tripled and came around to score on a wild pitch. The Skeeters lead the Blue Crabs 4-0 here. We're through 2 at Constellation Field. You are listening to Sugar Land Skeeters Baseball.
Our pages have revealed the answer to tonight's STEM trivia brought to you by Energy Day. Let's take a look. And the answer was A306, all right? And you had a letter there, right? Oh, Lucas Duhon. Lucas, congratulations. You just won $25 gift card courtesy of Energy Day. Which is a classic Chevy customer service with at the top of section 16. And you prize. All right, man, it is now time to find your luck. Brought to you by the Texas Lottery. Justin down on the field, like Justin. Justin, take it away.
Thank you, Shane. I'm down here with Brandon. He is ready to find his luck, right? When I say go, we go to the preliminary Texas Lottery ticket. And we promise we gotta fight for it. Alright, so we need your help in. You gotta know these harder if he's forward. Alright, you ready, Grant? Set. Find your luck. Let's go. We got some players in our ticket. Come on, fans. Which way does he need to go?
And we move into the top of the third inning here at Constellation Field. The Sugar Land Skeeters with a 4-0 lead over the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. A 3-run bottom of the second from your Skeeters as Roy Merritt returns to duty back at the top. The hill, the left-hander winds and delivers to Edwin Garcia, the shortstop, who misses outside for a ball. So 1-0 the count from Merritt to Edwin Garcia, and Garcia takes inside. So last inning, James Loney, the crafty left-handed veteran, tripled down the third baseline and then finished it off by scoring on a wild pitch. Merritt's 1-1 to Garcia. Slap to Silverio, makes a diving stop, recollects it, throws over to Loney, picks it up beautifully. The smooth pickup by Loney at first base, and a 5-3 put out as we open things up here in the second inning. And joining me to my right, Chris Parsons, the rally Chris after last night, joined us in the 7th inning, and the Skeeters promptly scored 5 runs and followed up with 2 more as we went on to win our first game of the year. Chris, how you doing tonight?
I see you didn't need me to get the rally going. You got me off mute now?
There you go. You're better now.
You didn't need me to rally tonight.
Nope. I provided all the rally support for the Skeeters tonight. About time. I was starting to get a little worried here. I hop in the Rock Guys booth, and all of a sudden we weren't able to score a lot of runs, but
Told you last
I
night.
thought it was me.
Just be patient. Plenty of talent on the
Man.
roster.
That's what I was alluding to before you hopped in, as Edwin, or rather Angelou's the second baseman. It's the lineup that we've constructed. You're kind of expecting what we're seeing today to just happened pretty quickly. It took a few days for the bats to pick up, but we knew they would, as Nina misses upstairs, and Cody Ashe, his home run in the first, very impressive, and then Ryan Court. We talked about Ryan Court's power last night. He saw the ground rule double, and today the 2-run single. And Roy Meredith's looked good too so far, as he's got one away here. A nice stop from Silverio at third, and James Loney, the longtime Dodgers first baseman, with a beautiful pickup. As Merritt gets that backdoor slider across. So 2-2 with one away here. 4-0 lead for your Skeeters. And you know Loney's had a good night because that uniform is filthy already.
Yeah, triples.
The triple down the line, and you could tell the guys in the dugout love that. Loney is one of the more veteran guys here. That's on a few hops. Silverio fields it with one hand across to Loney. That one's a little easier. There are back-to-back 5-3 putouts will get us going here in the third. So in steps Ruby Silva, the right fielder for the Blue Crabs. He is 0 for 1, had it grounded out to James Loney, who is quickly making himself a big part of this Skeeters lineup. The triple tonight, entered hitting .333 through 2 games. So last night the Skeeters had 3 RBIs with 2 outs. Tonight they have 3 of their 4 runs, so 6 runs already this year, coming with 2 outs as the first pitch to Silva misses, but he skies out to left field, and it's going to get in front of Cody Ashe for a 2-out single.
I don't think he ever saw that ball.
I don't think he did either, because right now, and it's going to take a little bit for that shadow to get all the way across, since we had the 6 o'clock start tonight, not a 7 o'clock start, but
Got a little baby shark going.
Baby shark again.
The fans are loving it.
Yep. Frank Martinez is the victim of the baby shark walking music here, and anything you can do to slow this guy down is needed. He's singled to lead off the game, and he'll pop that one. It's near Prince at second base. He'll take care of it, and that'll do it here in the top of the third inning. So just the one hit from Ruby Silva with 2 outs, no harm done, as Roy Merritt is through 3 scoreless innings, and your Skeeters lead 4-0 against the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. We'll be back here with more Skeeters baseball in just a bit. Let's head to the bottom of the third, shall we? The Skeeters lead the Blue Crabs 4-0, courtesy of a Cody Ashe solo home run. A 2-run single from Ryan Court, and James Loney, the man on the on-deck circle, is going to have some laundry to do tonight. He tripled and came around to score on the wild pitch. And Juan Silverio, the third baseman, swings and misses from Brandon Compton for strike one. Oh, 1 to Juan Silverio. Got some Atlantic League action going on tonight. And Silverio fooled there on the off speed, swings over the top for strike one. One game already final. The Blue Crabs, the Patriots, and the New Britain Bees played a 7-inning game as part of a doubleheader tonight for them. The Bees with an 8-4 win. Jim Fuller with the W, and former Skeeters Zach Zenicola. I don't think I said his name right there.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, you're good.
He picked up the win, or the loss rather, for the Patriots.
Could you imagine all the offseason planning to have your opening day canceled by rain?
That would have been a nightmare for us.
No thanks.
These staffs for independent baseball were, I think I said it a couple of podcasts ago, we're always kind of playing zone coverage. You know, everyone works hard, and having guys like Chris to my right who've been here since day one, it definitely helps as Silverio takes that inside for a ball. But opening day is usually the biggest cluster of every day, and to have all that energy amped up and then to have it kind of take on for you, it's
have to have a doubleheader your second game of the season. No thank you.
That is rough. They will play 2 7-inning games tonight. As I mentioned, the Bees picked up a 8-4 win, and Silverio chops that to the left side. Garcia gets it on the big hop, throws across to Griffin, and gets Silverio by a few steps for out number one in the bottom of the third inning. So that'll bring up James Loney. Loney tripled in his first at-bat of the game, came around to score on a wild pitch with Albert Cordero up to bat. The 34-year-old still can move it as he hit that one past the diving stop of John Griffin, and John Griffin now hugging the line. I don't think he's not going to let that one get by him again. Angeles Nina playing very deep in right field. Edwin Garcia just to the left of the shift marker there behind second as Brandon Compton gets that one across for strike one. James Loney, not the first triple of the year though. Juan Silverio had that triple last night, and he came around to score on a pop fly in the infield that was dropped, leading to the Skeeters' first win of the year. And Loney takes downstairs, so 2-1 now. The count to the former Los Angeles Dodger. So 1-1, one out here. James Loney at the dish, and the slider there from Compton catches the zone. 1-2. James Loney, Elkins High School in Missouri City. You'll be hearing me say that a lot. Try to plug the local guys as much as we can. Let them do a Texas State title back in 2002. And
they also claimed the national title back then.
Wow. So yeah, the national title for Elkins High School back in 2002.
Yeah, they were dominant.
They had James Loney pitching and playing first base. He was committed to Baylor, but was taken in the first round by the Los Angeles Dodgers, and can't blame him. He just wanted to start his pro career.
Yeah, and James Loney, Matt Carpenter, first baseman for the Cardinals. Wardell Starling.
That's a team right there. Two guys that had major league careers that have expanded at least a decade, and Carpenter and Loney as he fouls that one right back near me off the net.
I want to say probably 5 or 6 guys from that team either D1 scholarships or made it up to the big leagues.
And that, I mean, to win a 5A Texas State title, you said they went on to win a national title. Even if they weren't given the national title, you figure that's just about the same thing when you're able to win it here in Texas.
Right.
And Loney works it full here, 3-2 the count with one away in the bottom of the third inning. Skeeters lead 4-0. And the 3-2 to Loney takes outside, and a good eye from the Skeeters' first baseman. Neal is aboard once again. He works the one-out walk. So Loney now hitting 400 on the year. Works the walk, and that'll bring up Albert Cordero, who struck the ball pretty well in his first at-bat. Put Corey Vaughn back a few steps in front of the warning track, but he was able to corral it. Coco still looking for his first hit of the 2019 campaign. From the left side here, the switch hitter with Brandon Compton, the right-hander, on the mound. Compton already allowing 2 hits, 2 runs, both earned. He has struck out 3 batters, through an inning and 2/3. First one to Albert, misses outside, 1-0. Count to Coco with this open stance. Takes up and away for a ball. Albert had the best year of his career, at least offensively, last season. 12 home runs and 50-plus RBIs, both career highs in his third year in Sugar Land, now his fourth season with the Skeeters. The longest tenured member, the only player on the roster that was a part of both championship teams. Swings over the top of that one for strike one. I almost want to say he's the only player that was a part of both championships, but there's one other guy he was a part of both. That was left-hander Derek Loop.
Yep,
Joined us late last year. Derek not on the team this year, but he also got both rings. And now that I'm thinking about it, there's actually a third player who was part of both of them too. He was here on opening day. Mark Haynes, the right-hander. And Coco swings over the top. 2-2. Roy Merritt, a member of that 2016 team as well. Josh Prince, also a part of that 2016 team. So a lot of members that got that championship fill are back here for another season of Sugar Land Skeeters baseball. We lead 4-0 over the Blue Crabs. Just about 7 o'clock here, and Coco slaps that one to the right side. Griffin takes it to first base himself, and the throw over to second base is over the head of Garcia, so Loney is able to get there. Will keep the inning alive, a fielder's choice.
Just a bit high.
Just a bit high. It's a throw from John Griffin, and John Griffin, who is right-handed, I'll give him some credit. That is a tough throw to make when you got to turn your body around, and I played a little first base back in high school, and for me, that throw was either going to be right on the money or it was going to be like 30 feet over the head of second baseman.
Well, it probably didn't help when you got Loney running the bases, who's 6'4", 6'5", got thrown even higher.
Yep, and Loney is just tearing up the base pass tonight. He is causing trouble everywhere he goes for the Blue Crabs. Gotta love that, and he's on second base, 2 away. Cody Stanley steps on in. He reached on an error in the first inning as he takes that one for a strike. Cody was 3 for 4 last night. Had a double, 2 singles, and drove in 2 in his Skeeters debut. A very, very good night for him. Getting his second straight start behind the plate tonight. As Compton steps off here and recollects himself. Compton finding himself in just a bit of trouble here in the early goings. 0-1, and Cody Stanley lines it into left field. It's going to get down toward the corner. Around to score easily is James Loney, and Cody Stanley with an RBI 2-out single.
Using the opposite field.
Yep.
Nice hitting there.
He had a double down that way last night, and he just spanks that one, takes the pitch where it was thrown off the outer edge of the plate. And the Skeeters once again are making their presence felt with 2 away here. Loney comes across the score and make that a 5-0 lead for the Skeeters with 2 away in the bottom of the third inning. This is the Skeeters baseball we have grown, at least me, accustomed to watching after such an amazing season last year. The 81 wins. As Josh Prince steps on in and takes for a strike. Cody Stanley continues to swing a hot bat in his first couple games with the Skeeters. Now 4 for his first 6. 3 RBIs, which now leads the team. As Josh Prince takes that one upstairs for a ball. Prince popped out to the second baseman Josh Prince with a hit single on his first at-bat. That was his actually first hit of the year. He reached on a walk last night and stole his first base, and I'm going to venture to say that probably will be his last stolen base. The all-time stolen base leader for the Skeeters. The 1-1 is fouled off to the left side. The bats have come to play tonight. Cody Ashby's solo home run in the first kick-started things. Ryan Court's 2-out single, and the second was a part of a 3-run second inning. And Cody Stanley with a 2-out RBI single here in the third, giving your Skeeters a 5-0 lead. Brandon Compton on the mound for the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. And the 1-2 is a breaking ball, misses outside from Compton. So 2-2, the count to Josh Prince. Cody Ashley rocking the high black socks with his light blue Skeeters uniform. Prince grounds out one softly to Garcia, who backhands it, comes up with it, no play, as Josh Prince is aboard with a 2-out infield single. Garcia had to be quick with that one, elected to go with a backhand as he was moving toward the third base side, and Josh Prince, who moves very well, there was no play for him at first base.
There's some of that Skeeter speed right there.
Yep.
Speed kills.
A great blend of power and speed in this lineup, and as Chris mentioned, speaking of speed, in comes CJ McElroy.
There you go, from fast to faster here.
Yeah. You can only imagine on nights where not Josh Prince, Alvaro Rondon's playing shortstop as well. You get Rondon, McElroy, and Prince in the same lineup, and that's a headache for opposing catchers and opposing infielders.
Yeah, you turn it over, and then you got Jared Mitchell top of the lineup, so it doesn't get any easier.
Well, it does not get any easier as McElroy takes for a strike. CJ had the game-tying single last night in the 8th inning, his first base hit as a member of the Skeeters. So 0-1 as McElroy fouls that one back. McElroy, native League City, rocks the Mohawk haircut as he takes his helmet off there and wipes the sweat off his brow. His father, Chuck, played over a decade in the major leagues as a left-handed reliever. And CJ hits that one softly to right field. Looks like it might be trouble for Silva, and it is. Down into the corner to right field. Around comes the score is Cody Stanley. McElroy stands up at second base with a double, and Josh Prince will hold up at third. A 2-out RBI double from CJ McElroy, and the tables have turned. The Skeeters are leading 6-0 now in the third inning. The Blue Crabs got themselves out to a 6-0 lead last night, and the Skeeters returning the favor. They are up 6-0 now as CJ McElroy lofts that one into shallow right field. And we mentioned the speed. Probably could have made that a triple had there not been a runner in front of him. And just like that, the Skeeters continue to attack with 2 outs. 5 of their 6 runs tonight have come with 2 outs. Just James Loney scoring on the wild pitch, the only one that did not come in with the 2 outs. First pitch from Compton to Mitchell, misses inside as the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs bullpen bodies are starting to move around like out there. And somebody beginning to warm up there in a hurry as Brandon Compton has already allowed 6 through 2 2 2/3, and Mitchell takes for strike 1. Jared Mitchell making his third at bat here, the third inning already. That's a good sign. He grounded out in the first, walked back in the second. The 1-1 from Compton to Mitchell catches the inside part of the plate. 4 strike 2, so 1-2 the count with 2 away. In the bottom of the third inning, Skeeters lead 6-0. That feels good. That feels good to say that right there.
It's nice to jump on them early, play from ahead.
Yep. This is the first time the Skeeters struck first, obviously very early in the year, but they played from ahead much of last year. Although they did come from behind when needed, they just won a lot of games in general, so they pretty much won games in any way you can imagine. 1-2 now the count to Mitchell, and the check swing. Did he go? Jimmy Tatum says he's going around, so that is going to end things here, but not after 3 more runs for your Skeeters. Lastly, punctuated by an RBI double from CJ McElroy. We lead 6-0 through 3. You are listening to Sugarland Skeeters Baseball.
Surely Skeeters and the Texas Lottery have teamed up to honor our veterans in attendance at tonight's game. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have served or are currently serving in our nation's armed forces, Coast Guard or reserves, we ask if you would please stand at this time. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for all those who have our arms protecting our friends. Here are our awards.
And we're back here at Constellation Field to begin things in the fourth inning. Skeeters lead 6-0 over the Blue Crabs. Roy Merritt back on the bump. He gets across a breaking ball for strike one. 6 runs, 7 hits, no errors for your Skeeters. No runs on 3 hits and an error for the Blue Crabs. It's Craig Maddox at DH. Chops that one back to Roy Merritt. Feels it easily. Underhand toss over to Loney at first base. And 1 away now to begin things here in the fourth inning.
First baseman number 3.
Those Skeeters bats, we knew they'd come around not before too long, and tonight they have come alive, scoring each of the first 3 innings. 1 run in the first, 3 in the second, and 2 last inning in the third. It's John Griffin, the first baseman, steps on in for the Blue Crabs. From the right side, the lefty Merritt, the first lefty to take the mound for the Skeeters this year, the only lefty as part of their rotation right now. First pitch from Merritt to Griffin, misses outside for ball 1. One-0 to Griffin is downstairs for a ball. So 2-0 to John Griffin, the first baseman, swings over the top of that one, so nicely done. On there by Merritt, gets that one across. Mentioned James Loney, the first baseman for the Skeeters tonight, playing a lot of first base as the 2-1 misses upstairs. Loney returns to Houston in the Fort Bend County area after spending 11 years in the major leagues. Won a 5A state baseball championship with Elkins High School. And Griffin pops that one up right into Loney's area. That'll be foul for a ball for strike number 2. So full count here now to Griffin. Loney having himself quite a night. Already has a triple and a walk. Has come around to score a run, one of the 6 runs tonight. That triple was his first of the year, and as you can see right there, his uniform is filthy. And as we mentioned earlier, that is a great sign. Gotta like that. Loney spent 11 years in the majors, mostly with the Dodgers. Spent some time with the Boston Red Sox, the Tampa Bay Rays, and the New York Mets. So he's hit. You're playing big market bingo. He's got 4 of them right there with New York, Boston, and LA. As Griffin skies that one toward center field, Jared Mitchell with a good read on it over toward the left center field gap. A towering fly ball, but he is under it. That one hung up there for a bit. John Griffin, the big first baseman, down for out number 2. And Loney is all over the Dodgers record books. He drove in 9 runs in a game back in 2006, which tied Gil Hodges, who I randomly have a bobblehead of Gil Hodges. Della can vouch for me. She's still hanging out here in the booth. Longtime Dodger great. They both are tied for the most RBIs in a game, 9 RBIs. He's 8th all-time in games played at first base in Dodgers history, which I think is a pretty cool stat to have, a team with a lot of history. As Charlie Valerio, the catcher, steps on in. Roy Merritt on the mound still for the Skeeters, and wonderful to see a pitching change here for the Blue Crabs. Charlie Valerio from the right side, the switch hitter. Takes for ball 2, so 2-0 the count to Valerio, who homered back on opening day into the grassland. There is a healthy crowd out in the grassland tonight. That's a good place to be. It's a breezy afternoon, middle to late evening now. It's 7:14 Central Time as Valerio fouls that one back off the gear of Cody Stanley. Wind blowing in from right field. Like I said, the grassland, not a bad place to catch the game, but sticking to James Loney here, as we mentioned, having himself a night with the triple, and we're going to see him pitch at some point, I believe, this year, as he was a two-way star at Elkins, the 2-1. Valerio, who crowds the plate, just gets out of the way, so 3-1 now the count. Loney also a player coach as well, and a guy with that much experience has a lot to offer Skeeters players. He's spent some time in Korea. As mentioned, he's a native of the area, so he can help guys figure out places to go around here. And overall, just got to spend some time with him. He's a great guy. And the 3-1 pitch from Merritt to Valerio. Valerio swings and misses, so 3-2 now, 2 down in the top of the 4th inning. Skeeters lead 6-0 over the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. The crowd has been instructed to get loud here at Constellation Field. A big pitch coming here from Merritt. He winds and delivers, and Valerio hits that foul down the left field line. Good piece of it there from Valerio, but just a little bit out in front. So Roy Merritt, in his return to the Skeeters, last pitched with us in 2016. He went 8-2 that season with a 2.99 ERA, 25 appearances, 18 starts. So the versatile piece can be used in the bullpen. Mentioned he's a Houston native, went to Nimitz High School. And Valerio swings and misses over the breaking ball, strike 3. Roy Merritt now through 4 scoreless innings. The Skeeters pitching coach off to a great start this year. Skeeters lead 6-0, and we're coming back to bat here in just a few. You're listening to Sugarland Skeeters Baseball. It's time for more Skeeters baseball here at Constellation Field, and why not? Because they lead 6-0 in the bottom of the 4th inning. Ryan Court steps on in for action here. Court already with the 2-run single tonight, back in the 2nd inning. Ground out in the first. He's 1 for 2 thus far. Had a double last night's game. The Skeeters have scored in each of the first 3 innings. 1 run in the first, 3 in the second, 2 in the third, and it's Brandon Compton back out for another inning of work. Court fouls the first pitch from Compton over into the upper suites Disparity Club here at Constellation Field. Compton, not the debut he was hoping for. Just 3 innings so far, 7 hits, 6 runs, 4 of them earned. He's walked 2, 4 strikeouts. And Court hits that one to the right side. Looks like it's going to get foul, and it does. So 0-2 now to Ryan Court, the Skeeters shortstop this evening. Played over at first base last night. Also had some time in left field on opening day, so play all over the place. Roy Merritt, on the other hand, the kind of debut you absolutely do hope for. 4 innings thus far, scoreless, just 3 hits, 1 strikeout, no walks, as Compton misses inside. 1-2 now to Ryan Court. Court played with the Sayou City Explorers of the American Association back in 2015. He hit .331 with a 400 on base, 9 home runs in 99 games, so not his first independent ball route. And Court check swings. Did he go around? And he did, says the first base umpire. So Ryan Court down on strikes here for the out number 1 in the bottom of the 4th. That'll bring up Juan Severio, who's hitless tonight, but certainly not hitless many other times this year. He entered tonight hitting .444, has a home run, a triple, and 2 RBIs through the first 2 games. Cody Ashe now steps in, the Skeeters left fielder, and he swings and misses for strike 1. Cody Ashe, his first home run as a member of the Skeeters back in the bottom of the 1st. Launched one out over the fence in left center field, where kids are playing basketball right now. The playground out there in left field as well. And Compton with the breaking ball, check swing. Ashe did not go around as they check him down at third base. Skeeters were 14-5 against the Blue Crabs last year, so we're in a little bit more familiar territory here as they lead 6-0 in the bottom of the 4th. And Ashe takes up for ball 2. Ashe exited game 1 of the season. That's what led Court to play in left field after getting hit by a pitch, but he came back last night, had an RBI single, and now with the home run tonight, 2-1 misses low for 3-1 now. Compton in danger of walking already his 3rd batter in just 3 1/3 innings of work. He has struck out 5 though, so strikeout pitch is there, and that one catches the outside part of the plate. 3-2 to Cody Ashe now. The 5-year Major League vet, native of Missouri. And that one skips into the dirt. Easy take for Ashe. He'll trot over to first base with a 1-out walk. So Juan Silverio steps on in. Last time we saw him was last night, and he had a triple to keep the game alive. Matt Latos was on the mound for the Blue Crabs, and James Loney, who's on deck, hit the ball a mile high into the air, and Frank Martinez unable to corral it on the infield pop-up, kicked off his glove, and the Skeeters won, and the rest was history. Severio pops that one up himself, back out of play behind me, here behind home plate. Severio continuing to swing a hot bat. In 55 games last year with the Skeeters, he hit .310, .347 on base, a .503 slugging percentage, had 8 home runs and 37 RBIs in those 55 games. As a pick over to Ashe gets back in time. He also had 14 hits in the postseason and 9 runs scored, both of which were Skeeters' single postseason records. So all Juan has done is hit a little more since he's joined the Skeeters, and he hits that one to the left side. Third baseman Martinez over to Nina. Nina across to Griffin, a 5-4-3 double play will get things finished here in the 4th inning. Cody Ashe with the walk, but that's all for the Skeeters as they go down without a run in the 4th. They hang on to a 6-0 lead as we move to the 5th here at Constellation Field.
looking for a Skeeter fan with red hair. We have a redhead in the house. Seems to be good. Very good. All right. Now, Swanson's looking for a flush. Swanson flush from the bus stop. And we got a Swanson flush. Oh, yeah. There we go. All right. Now, the best one he's looking for, the best Carlton dance. Who can do the Carlton? Let's see it. Oh, yeah, we've got a winner. Thank you very much.
And welcome back here to Constellation Field, where your Skeeters lead the Blue Crabs 6-0. Tony Thomas, the left fielder, in the box. Roy Merritt back out for another inning of work. Merritt threw 4 scoreless, has allowed just 3 hits. 1 strikeout, no walks for the veteran left-hander. First pitch to Thomas is on the outside edge for a strike. Tony Thomas, the grand slam hitting machine, Skeeters postseason legend. 0-1 from Merritt to Thomas is over the top. Mentioned I had a story about Tony just to give you an idea of the kind of guy he is. Tony joined us in about 5 games, I'd say, to play last season, and we had a visit to a Texas Children's Hospital. We needed a few players to sign up as the 0-2 from Merritt to Thomas, and Tony takes up and away for a ball. I put up a sign in the clubhouse saying we needed 2 players to go, and usually the same couple guys go to all these events, and I was expecting 2 of the guys that I knew would probably go to it to sign up, and little did I know, his second day here, Tony Thomas, as he takes low 2-2. Tony Thomas signed up to go visit children in the hospital at Texas Children's Hospital here in Houston. He hadn't even really unpacked his bags here. As a member of the Skeeters, played with the Wichita Wingnuts in the American Association, and as I mentioned, just about a day into his tenure, he signed up and visited children in the hospital. So that's Tony Thomas in a nutshell for you. He was only here for a short time, but he made a big impression on me, at least, and I know the rest of the Skeeters fans with his grand slam in Game 5 of the Freedom Division Championship Series. So 2-2 here to Thomas. Nobody down in the top of the 5th inning as the shadows have made their way all the way across the diamond. Just the left field picnic plaza with a little bit of sun in their eye. So we're at 7:30 mark here tonight as Tony Thomas swings and misses, and Roy Merritt picks up his second strikeout of the night there for out number 1 in the 5th. So Roy Merritt continues to roll along here in his return to the Skeeters. Spent last year with, as we mentioned, a plethora of teams in the Mexican League. During the regular season, he went 6-7 with a 4.03 ERA. Played with Los Mochis and Mazatlan. The donut chant is getting going here at Constellation Field, a new in-game promotion via the Broken Yoke Cafe. Corey Vaughn, the center fielder for the Blue Crabs, takes for strike 1. Corey Vaughn, another great guy, got some time spent with him last year when the Blue Crabs were in town. His father, Greg, played in the majors with the Padres and a few other teams. And Corey fooled there on the Aussie pitching. Just like that, 0-2 the count to Corey Vaughn as Roy Merritt is in a groove here in his season debut. The 0-2 from Merritt to Vaughn, line up the middle, and Josh Prince diving play. Sweet Prince with a dive toward the middle of the diamond there, had him shaded toward the middle, so a good scouting report there. And Princey retires Vaughn there with the diving play for out number 2 in the 5th inning. And in steps Edwin Garcia, the shortstop, now 0 for 1. He grounded out to Juan Silverio back in the 3rd inning. Garcia, the Gold Glove Award winner for the Atlantic League last year. He was the Defensive Player of the Year for the league, also part of the red, white, and blue all-defensive team. So 0-1 from Garcia, and he hits that one to shallow center field. Jerry Mitchell coming on, and he makes the grab out there in Central. And a 1-2-3, fifth inning for Roy Merritt. He is rolling here in his season debut, and the Skeeters are rolling in Game 3 of this 2019 season. They lead the Blue Crabs 6-0. You're listening to Sugar Land Skeeters Baseball.
Thank you, Shane. Yes, it is audience participation. That means, fans, I need you up on your feet. It's going to be the first base side against the third base side. When I say so, those eyeballs are going to drop down from the suites. And it's a race to the SWAT team girls behind them. All right, you ready? 3, 2, 1, drop them. All right, you got to work together as a team. Who's going to get those eyeballs to home first? First base is making their way. It looks like we might have a bit of a deflated eyeball on the third base side, but keep throwing it, guys. Almost there. There's still time, third base. But with that hit, first base side is going to be the winner of the eye drop, brought to you by Man Eye Institute. Back up to you, Shane.
And welcome back to Constellation Field, where your Skeeters hang on to a 6-0 lead over the Blue Crabs as we head to the bottom of the fifth. A new pitcher on the mound for the Blue Crabs. That's right-hander Ryan Chafee, the 6'2", 195-pound right-hander from Bellevue, Nebraska. Spent last year with the Blue Crabs as well. He's reached as high as AAA. And that he'll spell Brandon Compton, who threw 4 innings tonight, allowed 6 runs, 4 earned on 7 hits, as James Loney steps in and he'll take strike 1. Here, Loney having himself an evening, and joining me now in the booth, my dear friend, my only Missourian friend, I believe. Oh, and Loney! Oh my goodness. Loney is hit in the hand, and his helmet flies off as well. That's a scary scene there as Max Mahaffey, the trainer, is going to come out. Take a look at Loney, who just got hit what looked to be in the hand, but his helmet came off too, so you wonder if the ball might have ricocheted off the visor. James is up though. So the crowd gives him a hand. And he'll make his way to first base, and thankfully able to stay in this one. That looked horrific. Ryan Chafee coming in on relief. Hits Loney in the hand. As I mentioned, he stays in this one as he trots to first base. My goodness, that is a scary scene. And Albert Cordero going to step in now. They kind of just took your breath away watching that. Loney coming in to lead off the inning. That one just struck him right in the hand, it looked like, and just not able to get out of the way of the Ryan Chafee fastball. The umpires are going to come here and talk about something. I'm not going to even guess what it is. Something to do with the hit by pitch. I mean, that maybe if they're questioning if it hit the bat or Loney's hand, but regardless, it looked like it hit his helmet too. So Loney on first base with a hit by pitch. Hey Doug, how are you doing tonight?
Doing all right. Some good Skeeters baseball going tonight. Definitely looks like a different team than what we've had the past first 2 nights.
Yeah.
At least to start.
No, we're looking sharp after the scary scene there, but James Loney looks to be okay, and that's all you can ask for. As Albert Cordero coming up to Old Town Road, the hit song, Sweeping the Nation, steps in for his 3rd at-bat of the night. Fouls that one away. Mentioned Doug, one of my only friends I know from Missouri. Doug, you were from Lexington, Missouri.
Yes, I'm from that wonderful small town that nobody else knows about.
Nobody else knows about. Russell Woldman, another event operations manager here. Doug is in operations, not an event. You put on a lot of hats, but
I play both roles. I'm in events and operations. So.
There you go. And Russell, also from Missouri, as Coco swings over the top. We'll get Russell in the booth here at some point before too long. So 0-2 to Albert Cordero. James Loney on first after being hit by a pitch. Loney has reached all 3 times tonight, although I can think most will agree we wish he didn't have to reach via the hit by pitch like that this time around, as Coco fouls it off to the right side. Albert looking for his first hit of the year still. And the way the Skeeters bats have been flashing tonight, I think we'll see it before the night is over. Pinch hit last night, struck out in his only at bat. So 0-2 to Coco, and he check swings and hits that one just off the top of the Blue Crabs dugout there off the 3rd base side.
Definitely believe Coco's going to get his first hit soon. I've watched him all off season, batting cages. He was working all off season, so I got to expect he's going to get one real soon.
Albert lives in Sugar Land full time now, a native of Caracas, Venezuela, and yeah, during the off season, there's not a lot going on at the stadium, but one thing you could pretty much count on was Coco swinging down there in the batting cages. His daughter Andrea joining him on most of those occasions, and he fouls that one back. Albert has become a focal point of the community out here in Sugar Land. He was the Community Man of the Year back in 2017. One of the guys, I mentioned the story about Tony Thomas and going to a hospital visit, and I mentioned there are a few guys you can usually pencil in preemptively for those kind of things, and Albert certainly is one of those guys. And the 0-2 from Chafee misses down low, gets away from Valerio, but James Loney going to stay put there at first base.
Yeah, Coco's definitely the first person that'll walk up to you, say hi, how are you doing? Give you a fist bump.
Yep, he's a good soul. He's a good soul. His 4th year out here in Sugar Land, one of the nicer guys we have around. Spent some time in the Mets farm system, got up as high as AA Binghamton. Binghamton Rumble Ponies, a fantastic minor league name. So the 1-2 from Chafee to Coco is hit into shallow left field. Tony Thomas ranges toward the foul line and is under it. He'll take care of it for out number 1 here in the 5th inning. And coming up now is the catcher tonight, Cody Stanley, with 1 away in the 5th. So Cody having a pretty good night. Singled back in the 2nd, had an RBI single back in the 3rd. He continues to stay hot after a 3-for-4 night. He has scored 2 runs already. And check swing from Stanley on the first pitch is a ball. They're going to play Cody to pull here a little bit on the left side of the infield. 3rd baseman Frank Martinez is pretty far off the line. Edwin Garcia shaded towards 2nd base. That one Cody did go around on, and Jimmy Tatum, the home plate umpire, signals strike 1. A lot of names to remember as a broadcaster.
Yeah, you're doing a great job.
Because there's just a plethora of names. Luckily, there's not too many tough names to pronounce. At least on our roster, I know for sure, and the Blue Crabs is a little worried, but nothing too crazy. As Stanley takes for strike 2, 1-2. Brandon Compton got the start. Through 4 innings, allowed 6 runs, 4 of which were earned, 7 hits, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. The home run to Cody Ashley back in the 1st inning. Now Ryan Chafee in relief here in the 5th. And Cody Stanley takes inside for a ball. So 2-2 the count to the former St. Louis Cardinal. Native of North Carolina, much like Russell, comes from a small town went to UNC Wilmington for his college ball, and the pitch outside, did he go? The check down to second base, he did not. So a full count now. I gotta say, that's kind of a moot point when you ask a guy who's an umpire who's standing behind the pitcher off to the second base side. There's not, I don't know how his view would be any worse than the home plate umpires, but and then I guess that's a good break for the Skeeters there, and Cody Stanley works a full count here. James Loney on first base. He was hit by a pitch to lead off the inning. And Loney on the move, and Stanley, yes, he did go around, and Loney is now caught in a pickle with Garcia with the ball. He'll fire over to Griffin, and Griffin fires over to Nina, and we got ourselves a good old-fashioned rundown. He'll throw over to Valerio, who finishes off that pickle. So James Loney hit by a pitch to lead off the inning, but Albert Cordero down on a flyout. Cody Stanley strikes out, and they get Loney caught stealing there. So that'll do it here in the bottom of the fifth. Skeeters lead 6-0 over the Blue Crabs. We'll be back here in just a moment. And welcome back to Constellation Field here as I fumble around on the soundboard here in the broadcast booth. We've got a new pitcher on the mound, so Roy Merritt tonight is done after a beautiful season debut. And in to pitch is the big cat, Alec Asher, the 6'4", 240-pound right-hander from Lakeland, Florida. Got some big league experience, pitched for the Milwaukee Brewers last year, and I call him the big cat. That's not just me. That's go to baseballreference.com and type in Alec Asher. That is his nickname. Making his Skeeters debut, Angeles Nina going to lead things off. He takes strike one. So the Skeeters leading 6-0 here. A sight for sore eyes after a couple of games where Skeeters got down early. Were able to come back last night, and that one's lined into right field, going to get down past the reach of Josh Prince for a base hit. So I got some friends here joining me in the broadcast booth. My good buddy Adam Schwartz, his girlfriend Peppa, and some other friends. I'm not even going to just lie. I don't know their names yet, but nonetheless, happy to have them on here in the broadcast booth. On a great night here in Sugar Land, Texas. It's Saturday night, giving away some Atlantic League Championship broadcast hats. Not broadcast hats, Atlantic League Championship hats.
You're getting it. You're getting it.
Drifting a little bit here. And into hit now is Ruby Silva, the right fielder for the Blue Crabs. Angeles Nina led off the inning with a single as Alec Asher making his debut, misses outside for a ball. So 1-0 the count to Silva as Schwartzy, my buddy's taking a picture of me, it looks like. And Ruby Silva fouls that one on back. Adam from Singapore, correct? Correct. That is, he actually, Brandon MacArthur, our technical director, he's the guy controlling the feed tonight. The only other guy I know from Singapore. So I can check that off the list as that's foul back by Ruby Silva. 1-2 the count now. You're looking on your screen, you'll see Juan Silverio, the third baseman. He is off to a red hot start this year at a home run on opening day. Tripled last night, scored the game-winning run when it kicked off the glove of Frank Martinez, the fly ball off the bat of James Loney. He hit .310 last season, had 8 homers and 37 ribbies. 55 games, the native of Santiago, Dominican Republic. Alec Asher misses outside, so 2-2 now to Ruby Silva. Juan swings a hot bat, but don't let him fool you. He's slick with a glove, too, over there. He can pick it better than just about anybody I've seen over there in a Skeeters uniform. He's got a cannon for an arm. He made a nice diving play earlier tonight. As Asher misses upstairs, 3-2.
So I didn't want to come in here tonight without anything to say, so I did some of my own little homework.
Yeah. What do you got here? You got some notes right about Alec Asher.
I do have some notes about Asher.
Did you know that he was going to pitch tonight?
I did not.
Did somebody slip you a note?
I just
yeah, fire away.
Intuitive guess.
Hold on, let's wait for the 3-2 pitch, and I want to hear you fire away. As Silva swings and misses. Asher.
So Asher went to high school with some big names that are playing in the league right now. Chris Sale.
Okay.
Yep. Steve Pierce, also with Boston. Drew Hutchinson with the New York Yankees right now in their minor league system, and Keenan Broxton with the New York Mets.
Nicely done.
Broxton also went to Santa Fe Community College with him as well.
Wow.
So
Doug Failing coming into the booth, spitting some hot fire right there. So Alec Asher in good company, the Florida native. I heard Chris Sale sprinkled in there amongst some other names. Steve Pierce, who was the World Series MVP last year for the Boston Red Sox, and Keon Broxton playing center field now for the New York Mets. There's one other name you slipped in there.
There's Drew Hutchinson with the New York Yankees. He's in their minor league system right now.
Well, and Alec Asher also on the list. The Big Cat spent some time with the Phillies, spent some time with the Orioles, the Brewers last year. Now with your Sugarland Skeeters, as Frank Martinez fouls that one back, 1-1. So Frank Martinez 1 for 2 tonight, which is pretty good considering the way he's hit so far early this year. Still hitting .455 at a home run last night, had a triple on opening day. Already has 5 RBIs through 2.5 games so far.
I don't want to jinx and pause, but our pitching has looked way better tonight than what those first 2 games.
No, I'd agree, 100%. Connor Way got the start last night. Mitch Talbot on opening day, 2 guys that were lights out in 2018 and kind of got off to rough starts. But what we did see last night was the Skeeters bullpen come in. Kevin Comer, James Dykstra, Andrew Bellotti all through scoreless innings. Mark Lowe came inserted a home run, but the Skeeters bullpen is going to be the backbone of this team, at least I believe. And that one's lined to the right side over the leaping try of James Loney and down into the corner in right field. And Angels Dean is going to be waved home. They're going to try to score him. The cutoff to Prince. He will not throw it. And Frank Martinez into third base sliding with the triple. And he continues to start the season off on a hot note. So Doug has officially jinxed it.
I don't know what else I'm here for other than to make the game interesting.
Nope. It's all good. Skeeters have padded that lead. They're up 6-0 now. Cut it into a little bit. They hold a 6-1 lead over the Blue Crabs. And I don't think it's just you. Frank Martinez has had his way hitting this season so far. He's off to a hot start. As I mentioned, he was already hitting .455. Now he's ticked it up to .500. That's his 6th RBI through 2.5 games as a home run. That's his 2nd triple of the year already, too.
6 RBIs in 3 games. Not even completed 3 games.
And he's got a huge lead over there at third base. But, yeah, 6 RBIs. RBIs, I might ruffle some feathers here. I think it's a little bit of an antiquated stat. I think it's sometimes circumstantial, but can still prove to be a pretty useful stat when you consider a guy like Frank Martinez and how hot his bat's been.
I mean, when you look at RBIs, it also helps depending on where you're going to go in the lineup. I mean, if you're able to hit some guys in, I mean.
That's true. I think the reason I say it's an antiquated stat is because you can put a guy hitting 4th and he may not be a great hitter, but he may just come up with a lot of guys on base and he hits a lot of.
Hits well enough to get them in.
Gets a lot of opportunities. Some guys may not get the same opportunities with runners on base as that one's chopped in front of the mound and is going to stay foul. I know it's kind of the old school, new school debate. I think I fall a little bit more with the new school stats, which again I'm sure is going to ruffle feathers, but I think some of the older stats that are looked upon, like batting average and RBIs, they're still valuable to be looked at and how you can measure players, but I think there are a lot of newer metrics and just stats that have been around for a while that can also help paint a little more clearer picture of the kind of season a player is having. As that one's fouled back.
Yeah, I think most people are still going to look at the classic baseball stats
Yep.
because that's just what they know, especially for your average baseball fan. But
Sure.
for your deep fans, you're definitely looking at those new stats.
Exactly. And that's more for me. Like when I'm here on the broadcast, most of the numbers I give you are their average, their home run, and their RBIs, because that's really what people look for. And those stats do paint a pretty clear picture of the kind of season a person is having. As that one's chopped up the middle, Martinez is going to score easily, but Prince throws over to Loney. He'll fire across for out number 2, so 2 away now in the 6th inning. Blue Crabs tack on another run there on the RBI ground out from Craig Maddox, the DH for the Blue Crabs, so 6-2 the Skeeters lead now.
Some good walk-up music, Paz.
Some careless whisper, right?
Yes, that's correct.
I'm gonna guess who sings it, but I know it is. But if you say it, then I know it. George. Nope.
I can't help you with that one. I enjoy the song, but I can't help you with who sings it.
Yeah, I know it is a saxophone song. Doug is we got our finest people on it right now.
You were correct.
George Michael?
George Michael. Stick with your gut.
Score one for the big guy in the broadcast booth. So 1-0 to John Griffin, the first baseman here for the Blue Crabs. Nobody on. 2 runs in as Alec Asher is making his Skeeters debut. He throws that one in the dirt. 2-0. Count to the first baseman for the Blue Crabs. He is 0 for 1 tonight. Flew out to center field back in the 4th. Just 5 hits for the Blue Crabs so far, 2 runs. To both of them coming this inning as Griffin hits that one a ton to left field. Cody Ashley's going to look up and look out in the sport court. That is a solo home run for John Griffin. Not a whole lot of doubt on that one. Cody Ashley gave it a look, but John Griffin got every bit of that baseball. A solo home run with 2 away in the 6th inning. Sorry, going to give the Blue Crabs a 3rd run of the inning, but the Skeeters hold on to a 6-3 lead. So Charlie Valerio, the backstop, going to come in here as Alec Asher will look to complete this inning, which has been a little bit tough for the Skeeters. 3 runs in so far. John Griffin, the 6'6" first baseman. He looks like a building out there. Just hit that one a country mile. And Valerio takes for strike 1. That's what you get when you get a 6-run lead. You have a little bit of runs to play with here, and still a 3-run lead for the Skeeters here in the 6th as Valerio fouls that one back. We did mention the Skeeters bullpen, how it was effective last night. There's a ton of arms down there. Some guys are starting to get loose. We're a man short though tonight. Andrew Bellotti, congrats to him. He was picked up by the Yankees last night. Already 2 players. We're 3 games into the season, and 2 players have already departed us. As
That's
Valerio hits that one too deep left field, but Ashley's under it. And that'll do it here in the top of the 6th, though the Blue Crabs do tally 3 runs, but your Skeeters still hang on to a 6-3 lead here on Saturday night at the ballpark. You're listening to Sugarland Skeeters Baseball.
Thank you, Shane. I'm over here in section 10 with Aiden. He's out here for his first ever Skeeters game, and he is ready to see how well he knows his baseball movies. All right, Aiden, let's take a look at the question. Finish the quote from The Pride of the Yankees. Today, I consider myself, I'll give you 3 choices. A, the luckiest man on the face of the earth. B, more popular than A-Rod.
or C, the best player on the face of the earth?
Are you sure? Yes. Alright, he thinks it's A. Let's see if he's correct. He knew that answer quick, and he is correct. That means you're going to be the winner of 25 Skeeter bucks thanks to your co-friendship like a t-shirt.
Baseball League Tribute, brought by Shirt Plus Solutions. Check them out around Shirt Plus Solutions. All right, KCC 2220. That's what we're looking at for our big gift jackpot. Right now, that means $1,102. Guaranteed win jackpot. Somebody just went out. So you know, we've only got 3 outs, and we haven't got it to you yet. You gotta get it done, because we wrap up 7 at the end of 6. We're gonna give it away in the 7th. You got 3 outs left. Grab your tickets for the 50 round right here. That's the way it should be.
You're listening live to Sugarland Skeeters baseball here at Constellation Field. Ryan Posner joined by Douglas Failing. Not failing tonight, though. He's bringing in some sweet, sweet knowledge with the stats there on Alec Asher, who surrendered 3 runs in an inning relief. As Josh Prince is leading us off here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Skeeters lead 6-3 over the Blue Crabs. Takes strike 1. Ryan Chafee still on the mound for the Blue Crabs. And Prince with a big hack misses that one for strike 2. As the sun is pretty much officially set here on a great night at the ballpark as Prince launches that one low and away.
Speaking of Asher, you said he had a nickname, correct?
His nickname on the baseball reference page for him is the Big Cat.
Big Cat. Have you told the people your nickname? Ryan the Big Beef Posner.
Around these parts, I am known as Beef. I'm a little bit of a portly fella, and I also resemble a striking resemblance to a golfer named Andrew Johnson, who also goes by Beef. I have a picture, which is not hanging up here yet, of Andrew Johnson, the golfer Beef, holding a cheeseburger in his hand that says 100% beef. And so there's a little insight to Ryan Posner there, your broadcaster steering the ship this year for the Skeeters. Josh Prince has got a full count here. Nobody down in the bottom of the 6th. Skeeters holding on to a 6-3 lead, and Princey takes that one low. Ooh, and he threw his bat all the way back into the dugout.
Definitely doesn't agree with that.
Nope. He did his part to sell the act there. He started running toward first, but Jimmy Tatum, the home plate umpire, rang him up for strike 3, so Josh Prince down to open things in the 6th. Princey was batting in the 2-hole for the first 2 games. They moved him down into the 8th spot in the lineup, and entering that at bat, he had gotten his first hit. 2 hits tonight. He's 2 for 3 now after that strikeout. So in steps C.J. McElroy, the right fielder for your Skeeters. He's got an RBI double to his credit tonight. McElroy tied things up in the 8th inning with a single last night. Mentioned his father, Chuck, a longtime major leaguer, is a left-hander out of several bullpens for major league teams, and CJ takes that one low and away. And I think CJ is it's gonna be a nice 3-headed, could be a 4-headed battle here. Anthony's getting a late start, but to see who's gonna lead the team in stolen bases as McElroy takes outside. McElroy stole his first base of the season back in for a 2nd inning. Almost had it right there on the first time. And takes that one outside. So he's on base again. We might see a stolen base again before too long, but Josh Prince, another guy who could be in that mix. Alvaro Rondon, who led the team in stolen bases last year at 38 of them. So
it's definitely a nice problem to have. Too much speed.
You don't see that a lot in baseball anymore either. Speed's not necessarily placed at a premium.
Going back to the Royals, being a Royals fan, that's definitely what they built their team on this year.
The Royals might be the only team in baseball.
Isn't working that well,
but it did get them a World Series title back in 2015. They might be the only team in baseball that really puts a high premium on speed. As Mitchell, center fielder for the Skeeters, gets inside buzz there for ball 1. Jaron Mitchell, another guy who can really light up the base paths. stole 33 bases last year with York, which was his career high. Jared Mitchell, all he does is really win championships. He won a national title as a football player for LSU and won a national title as a baseball player for LSU as well. As McElroy's on the move, the throw from Valerio, his feet first slide, and no chance to get McElroy there. Stolen base number 2, so he mentioned that race to see who's going to steal the most bases for the Skeeters this year. And CJ McElroy with the edge here now. That's his second of the game, second of the season. Man, he's fast.
Makes fast people look not fast, boss.
I would have been like just a few steps off of first base by the time he got to second base there.
Yeah, I'd be in the stands eating a hot dog.
Can't blame you on that one, as Tyler Stam, our general manager, texts us in here. He's listening to the broadcast, obviously, and just quite plainly put, the Royals are bad.
I know. I'm very highly aware of that.
1-2 the count to Jared Mitchell here, 1 away in the 6th inning. CJ McElroy on second base as Mitchell swings over the top of that one in the dirt. And he's going to make Charlie Valerio tag him there, and he'll complete the out there on the putout. So Jared Mitchell down, swinging for out number 2 in the 6th inning. And now it'll be Ryan Court. Ryan Court had a 2-run single back in the 2nd inning, has struck out tonight as well as grounded out second base. Six-3 lead for the Skeeters here in the 6th inning. Blue Crabs put on a 3 spot in the top half of the inning. And Ryan Chafee gets that one across. So Chafee's done a nice job out of relief, has come in and quelled the fire a bit as Brandon Compton, the starter, allowed 6 runs in 4 innings of work on 7 hits. Chafee, inning and 2/3, has struck out 3. 0-1 to Ryan Court, taking for a ball outside. Is that Ric Flair down there wooing?
Somebody's very excited for some Skeeters baseball.
Somebody's excited. Well, I can't blame him. We're winning 6-3 here tonight and Saturday at the ballpark. CJ McElroy stole second base. He's standing out there at second steal with two away. Ryan Court up at the dish. And Court takes for a strike, so 1-2 now to the shortstop tonight for the Skeeters. Ryan Court does not look like your prototypical shortstop. He kind of is built like a third baseman a little bit. He's already played first base on one night this year. He kind of resembles Carlos Correa, the new era of shortstops that are built pretty big. He's 6'2". That's what he's listed at. So 1-2 to Court, taken outside for a ball. Ryan Chafee started making his way over to the dugout. Thought he might have had strike 3. And the Ric Flair here at Constellation Field continues to woo, as the crowd is instructed to make some noise, and he's doing a good job. He's obliging. So 2-2, 2 outs. Skeeters lead 6-3 in the bottom of the 6th inning. Ryan Court, CJ McElroy on second base, and Court check swings did not go around. Looked like an umpire agrees, so a full count now to Ryan Court. I cannot wait to bust out my Ryan Court. I gotta admit it. I'm happy about that one.
Yeah, I think you're more excited than most people are going to be.
I mean, you can kind of guess where it's going to go.
Yeah, I've gotten a little bit of a preview of this
just
call.
Look, I mean, if you just see his last name, you kind of can get at least an idea of where I'm going to go with that. But I'm sure I'll be using it here before too long. The 3-2 now to Ryan Court. Hit up the middle. Garcia handles it, bobbles it a bit, but is thrown across to John Griffin and in time to get Ryan Court for out number 3. So CJ McElroy walks, steals second, but is left stranded there. The Skeeters lead the Blue Crabs 6-3 as we're through 6 innings here at Constellation Field on a gorgeous Saturday evening at the ballpark. Do return as you can listen to Sugarland Skeeters baseball right here. We'll be back in just a few.
Thank you, Shane. Yes, I have 4 contestants out here. We're going to spin around the
Welcome back to Constellation Field. Your Skeeters leading the Blue Crabs 6-3 here on game number 3 of the 2019 campaign. Ryan Posner is still joined by Douglas Failing. To my right, Tony Thomas up to lead things off, swings and misses across an Alec Asher fastball. And Alec Asher back for another inning of work. He surrendered 3 runs last inning. Alec Asher, as we mentioned, has got 4 years of experience in the major leagues. He's pitched for the Phillies, Orioles, and the Milwaukee Brewers. He pitched for the Brewers last season. They made all the way to the National League Championship Series. A good season for the Brewers, and Alec Asher was a part of it. 1-1 out of Thomas, swings over the top and misses. Alec Asher, a part of a pretty big trade. A trade that sent World Series MVP and San Diego native Cole Hamels to the Texas Rangers, and back to the Phillies came a heap of prospects. Alec Asher, one of them. I remember that year pretty fondly. Cole Hamels had just thrown a no-hitter for the Phillies at Wrigley Field against the Cubs, and then his next start came with the Rangers. He had a couple good years with Texas, and he now plays for the Cubs. He's one of those guys who could be a Hall of Famer when all is said and done. He's had a very long career. And Tony Thomas swings and misses over the Alec Asher fastball. Down on strikes for out number 1 here in the 7th inning.
Another person involved in that trade with Hamels was Jake Dykman.
Jake,
who is currently a relief pitcher for Diekman, for
Diamondbacks?
the Royals right now.
Oh, he's with the Royals. Okay, he was with the Diamondbacks late last year. He was a Nebraska guy as well. We were talking about Cody Ashe being a Nebraska alum. So the donut chant begins here as Corey Vaughn steps in, and I was lucky enough to cover the 2016 Texas Rangers for MLB.com, and Jake Diekman was a part of that team, and a good guy. A left-handed reliever. He's long and lanky and kind of comes at you with like 30. He looks like he's like 7'5" when he comes at you. He's just a lot of moving parts. Throws hard, kind of a 3/4 motion guy. That is coming through loud and clear.
You can't pass up a good donut chant.
No, I'm hungry now. I think yesterday was National Donut Day, if I'm not mistaken. As Alec Asher misses outside, so 1-1 the count now to Corey Vaughn, the former San Diego State Aztec, New York Met farmhand. Corey Vaughn takes for a ball. Corey was a 2018 Atlantic League All-Star back here with the Blue Crabs. Also played in the Home Run Derby last year. We saw his power on display on opening day. He had a home run out to the Bella Ice House in right field. And he hits that one well to the left side, but going to get foul and out of play.
I have a feeling these Blue Crabs are going to really start to hate donuts by the end of this series.
I think by association, yes, they should be hating donuts, because I like how they've picked a new guy each night. Like, I think opening night it was Edwin Garcia, the shortstop, and Corey Vaughn tonight. And I can't imagine he likes us too much. 2-2, and he swings and misses. Alec Asher gets Corey Vaughn swinging and missing as the donut chant is successful, and 2 away here in the 7th inning. Back-to-back strikeouts from Alec Asher.
Maybe at the end of this series we'll send him some friendly donuts.
That would be such a power move.
Yeah.
It's like you just put a box of donuts in Corey Vaughn's locker.
At the end of the night, just donuts.
Corey Vaughn's a great guy, though. As I mentioned earlier, he was really great. I got a chance to interview him last year, and I mentioned that I'm a big Padres fan, San Diego State alumni myself. I got a bobblehead of his dad over here to my right. And he was a good dude, big Corey Vaughn fan. Not too big of a fan as long as he's playing the Skeeters, but nonetheless, a nice guy. As Edwin Garcia steps on in, fouls that first one away and hits that one to the right side. CJ McElroy's got a beat on it. He's under it with ease, so Alec Asher settles in a little bit, gets a 1-2-3 inning here in the 7th. It is stretch time at Constellation Field. Your Skeeters lead 6-3 in game number 3 of this Atlantic League season.
At this time, please turn your attention to the very first base sign in the field. Tonight's specialization, God bless America. Presented by Food Store.
Root for the Skeeters.
What group was that?
Wasn't mine. I mean, it's Adam.
Yeah, we can't. We had supposed to go like through the mountains, through the prairie. I thought they had music.
And welcome back to Constellation Field here in Sugar Land, Texas. A new pitcher on the mound for the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. We'll get some info on him here in just a bit. But in the meantime, your Skeeters lead the Blue Crabs 6-3 in the bottom of the 7th inning. After some stretch and some God Bless America, baseball has resumed here on the field, and pitching now for the Blue Crabs is right-hander John Hayes, the 6'6", 235-pound right-hander from Denison, Texas. He played for the Cleburne Railroaders last year, the American Association. As Ashley hits the first one of this inning to shallow right field, more like second base. Angelos Nina under it, corrals it for out number 1. So Ashley is out to get things going here in the bottom of the 7th. So Denison, Texas. I know about this town because my boss with the Rangers, we talked about the Rangers last inning, T.R. Sullivan. I know he's not listening, but it's okay. Shout him out nonetheless. Denison, Texas is right on the border of Texas and Oklahoma, up there, north of Dallas. Every time I hear Denison, think of him. So TR, shout out to you, the longtime Texas Rangers beat writer. Pete Ingavilla, our manager, played for the Rangers for quite a long time. He knew TR. TR dates back that long. As Juan Silverio now in for the Skeeters, and he takes for strike 1. Juan 0 for 3 tonight. Grounded to a double play back in the 4th inning was his last at bat. But 0 for 3 tonight. Otherwise, a pretty phenomenal start to the year. He tripled last night, drove in a run on a single. Also had a solo home run on opening day. He hit the first home run of the Skeeter season. I'll always remember him as my first home run call as a broadcaster, so that's pretty cool. So 0-1 here to Juan Silverio. Silverio grounds out the left side, gonna get through past the reach of Edwin Garcia and into left field. So a 3-game hitting streak for Juan Silverio to open up the season. He's swinging one hot bat here early on.
I see what you did there.
You see what I did there. You like that. And James Loney stepping in, and that's a good sight, as Loney's last at-bat, he was hit by a pitch off the hands, it looked like, and his helmet came off, and just a scary scene from start to finish there. But obviously he is okay enough to step back in the box here for another at-bat. Loney tripled back in the 2nd inning, came around to score a wild pitch. He walked in the 3rd inning and hit by a pitch in the 5th. So on base all 3 times tonight. Loney has been a tough out to get things going this year. He entered tonight 3 for 9 with a .333 average. So Ferrier with a decent-sized lead there on first, as Loney hits that one to the right side, just foul. That was right in the range of where he hit his triple back earlier in the game.
Yeah, you're definitely going to have to get Russell in here at some point to talk about Loney and their old his high school affiliate.
So
Matt Carpenter.
Oh, there you go. I did not actually know that. So Chris Parsons in the booth earlier was letting me know how Matt Carpenter went to the same high school as James Loney, and Russell a big Cardinals fan, so obviously a big Matt Carpenter fan, as that one misses up and away. Matt Carpenter, he's got his roots planted all over this Skeeters franchise. He's actually the brother-in-law of our head groundskeeper, Brad Detmore. So a lot of connections to Matt Carpenter. And Loney fouls, or he hits that one fair to John Griffin, and Silverio now caught in a rundown. Fires over to Garcia, back to Griffin, or that's Kelly now. There is a hodgepodge of guys holding the ball. Another rundown, and they're going to have a tough time getting Silverio here, and he dives. I don't know if he tagged him yet. Oh, they call, okay, we did tag him, so Loney grounds into a double play there, kind of a little bit unconventional. I would just say a lot of guys touched the ball there, and that'll do it here in the 7th, but the Skeeters do hold on to a 6-3 lead. You are listening to Sugar Land Skeeters baseball here at beautiful Constellation Field. We'll be back here in just a second.
$15,000 RTV. Thanks for a good Saturday night. Thanks for seeing all the big equipment. Don't forget to visit the big equipment area, section 16. Grab those balls and get ready to launch them. Launch them on right after the game. All right, speaking of winning, how about we give away some gold hard cash? We got Team JJ and we draw that winning ticket. It's got Show Me It Money. Everybody, ladies.
Alrighty, thank you, Shane. Yes, I have $50 in this envelope for a lucky season ticket holder out there who wants some money tonight. Let's see where we're going to go. Alrighty. Third base center, you want some money? I'm sorry. I'm going to have to go to the first base side tonight. I'm going to section 3. Section 9.
Save money and win. Source credit union Visa. Visit the booth of the guy for some details. Go to www.sourcecu.org to apply at any time. Please call the local pin brought to you by Texas Direct Title. Texas Direct, they want you to sell your car. Even if you don't want to buy there. Grab all the details on that at TexasDirectTitle.com. I'm pitching for your Shirley and Skeeters with 19. Matt West.
And we head to the 8th inning here at Constellation Field. The Skeeters lead the Blue Crabs 6-3. Matt West going to be making his Skeeters debut. The Houston native on the mound here returns to Sugar Land after an incredibly successful 2018 season for the Skeeters. Matt West attended Bel Air High School and here in Houston. Going to get Angeles Nina here to lead things off, the second base for the Blue Crabs. Nina slaps that one to deep right field. Going to get McElroy back. He ranges in and on the run makes the catch. So one away, one pitch, one out for Matt West in his season debut. And that'll bring up Ruby Silva. So Shay, you know Shay, our graphics coordinator.
Where is Shay?
He thinks we need to call first base Loney Island. Not only because Loney plays a mean first base, we already saw a pretty sweet pick from him early in the game, but he tends to hit the ball to the right side of the infield near first base. So I kind of like that.
I think that's a good call.
I'm on board. Shay, if you're listening, message received, and when applicable, we will apply it to the broadcast.
That means we're also going to need a graphic, though.
Yeah.
So.
Do you hear that, Shay? We're going to need a graphic. He probably hears that word in his sleep. Hey, Shay, we need a graphic. And Ruby Silva, now the right fielder, steps on in and fouls that one back. He's quickly down 0-2. And let's focus on the backstop for tonight. Cody Stanley, who through just 2 games in his Skeeters career has made a pretty big impression. Went 3 for 4 last night, had a couple RBIs, a double, and a run scored. Tonight he is 1 for 3, 2 runs scored, and another RBI. And Silva, he should look like he went. Yeah, he did. And Cody Stanley, the man we are focusing on here, tags him. So Matt West looking sharp here in his debut for the 2019 season. Has 2 away. Let's keep it focused here on Cody Stanley while we got a chance. Cody played with the Cardinals back in 2015, and as you can tell by this view, Cody's a catcher. And St. Louis Cardinals have a pretty good one, Yadier Molina. He may just be the best catcher over the last decade or a half here in the majors. Buster Posey might give him a run for his money, but Cody has got a chance to learn from one of the best, and he said Yadier Molina is all ears. He is there for him all the time. When he was there with the Cardinals, he was never too big to give him some hints, and you know, with a young guy looking for a job against the older veteran, you can see why they might be a little crabby. They might want to not give you too much insight on how to be a good big leaguer, but that was not Yadier Molina. And Cody Stanley, as you're watching on the broadcast, got a first-hand lesson on how to be a major league catcher. And Cody hit 400 in 8 games in the big leagues with the Cardinals, was called down. He was spelling Yadier Molina during an injury he had, and he did not play at the professional level the last 2 years, but last appeared with the Cardinals. So Frank Martinez steps in, and he's quickly down 0-2. Matt West made quick work and misses that one low. He's not helping us in our quest here to feature Cody Stanley as he's working this quickly.
Even though I'm not a huge Cardinals guy coming from Kansas City, that's how you know you have a great player on your hands, is whenever you have somebody with that much talent bring in a young guy and you're still willing to go help that guy out and share it with him and try to make him better, even if he may be trying to come after your job.
Absolutely, and Matt West misses with the fastball inside 93 on our radar gun here at Constellation Field, and Cody Stanley, mentioned earlier in the broadcast, went to UNC Wilmington out in North Carolina, was an All-Colonial Athletic Conference first-team member his junior season there, and that's when he got picked by the Cardinals in the MLB draft. As Frank Martinez fouls that one back. Cody Stanley, I've got a chance to know him a little bit. Great guy. He's a little bit quiet, but you also know that he just, when he gets on the baseball field, you can just tell it's like that one speed. Like when he's on the baseball field, he's a competitor, and he's going after you. As Frank Martinez swings and misses there over the top of that fastball. Matt West with a very impressive 8th inning here to hold on to a 6-3 lead with your Skeeters over the Blue Crabs. We'll head to the bottom half of the inning here. As I mentioned, the Sugar Land Skeeters holding on to a 6-3 lead over the Blue Crabs. Back here with more Skeeters baseball here in just a moment.
Texas Waterburger members who bring tickets to Skeeters games on Sunday can show proof of their membership at TDC Ticket Office. There you can score 2 free tickets to any Sunday game. Who's your local agent? Texas Bureau. All right, son, the Silver Base Race brought to you by Texas Mattress Makers. Justin's down on field with tonight's little feet. Justin, take it away.
Thank you, Shane. Now down here with Ryan. He is ready to race on back out the outfield. Pick up base and bring it back to you. The Texas Mattress Makers stolen base racing. All right, Ryan, we'll give you 30 seconds. Let's get that timer on the board. 3, 2, 1, go. And he is off and racing his way out to the outfield. Let's cheer him on as he runs out there. Oh, you can be louder than that. Cheer right on. He's got a great speed his way out to me. Oh, big Texas, how are you doing?
It's time for some cocoa here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Albert Cordero going to lead things off for your Sugarland Skeeters, who hold on to a 6-3 lead over the Blue Crabs. So 6-3 lead. The top of the 9th inning is looming, Doug, by my math, as Albert swings over the top of that one. Before I get into my rant here, John Hayes, number 40 for the Blue Crabs, still on the mound here. Had a scoreless 7th inning of work. So a 3-run lead. About to end the 9th inning. You know what that means?
What does that mean, Paz?
That means we're looking at jumbo time potentially here. Next inning is Felipe Paulino is warming up in the bullpen as Coco fouls out to the right side. Gonna stay foul just barely.
Got a pretty cool story about Felipe.
Yeah, let me hear it.
Last night I was out there by the bullpen, and there's some kids out there in the grassland, you know, going down, talking to the Skeeters players, and a lot of them are very receptive. And Felipe reached up and signed one of the kids' jacket, and it could have been any superstar in the world. That kid was so happy.
That's the beautiful thing of minor league baseball is you may not know who the player is, but you know they're a pro baseball player. And when they sign your glove, your ball, they make you feel like the coolest person in the world. And there are so many guys on this team, as Cordero takes up for 1 and 2, that are so good about that. Albert Cordero in the box is one of them. And Felipe Paulino, he's kind of built like the mountain from Game of Thrones. He can be intimidating. He's literally listed at 6'5", 6'3", 270 pounds.
He's got the beard to boot.
And Coco is down on strikes looking here to enter things in the 8th inning. But yeah, he's got the big beard, the big stature. He is the nicest guy I think I've ever come across in baseball. I hate to use hyperbole, but he really is. I mean, he's so hulking and so intimidating. He's just the biggest teddy bear. One of the guys on this team, I think, like, who when you come into the clubhouse, hey, Bubba, how you doing? Like, he is always so happy to see everyone. And as you mentioned yesterday, he's signing an autograph. Yeah, he's a great dude. And not only is he a good guy, he's also a very effective reliever. He set the Skeeters single-season record for saves last year with 33. So, good guy in the clubhouse and on the mound. And Cody Stanley, who we were talking about last inning, steps on in. He's hitting a cool .571 on the early goings here. He is 1 for 3 tonight, scored a pair of runs, has driven in a run with a single back in the 2nd inning. So 2-0, and he hits that one hard to the right side on a big hop. John Griffin feels it and takes it there himself. So 2 away here. And now Josh Prince, the second baseman / hitting coach for the Skeeters. He's coming on into this at bat, 2 for 3. His first 2 hits of the 2019 campaign. Probably hear his walk-up song in the background. A little Walker McGuire is his song of choice. The high socks from the Skeeters, second baseman. As mentioned, he's 2 for 3 tonight. And hits that one pretty well to center field, but Corey Vaughn is under it. And as we alluded to, the 3-run lead for the Skeeters, they hold on to that 6-3 lead, and out steps from the bullpen. It's jumbo time here at Constellation Field. We'll head to the top of the 9th inning, and Felipe Paulino going to come on looking for his first save of the 2019 season.
You're the new best friend. Congratulations. You are the winner of the 55th round of the Hell Chevrolet Customer Service Desk down to section 16. I'd like to give a huge shout out and thanks to Fish City Grill. Providing deals for players, coaches. Fish City Grill, get your refreshment. Scratch Kitchen every day. Fish City Grill. Located in Shenanigans Center. Alright, kids, it is not time for the kiss game. We see yourself on the Texas Hall. There's a glorious smile next to that special someone, and you know what to do. Like this lovely couple right here. Well, kiss cam, not lane cam, no kiss cam. It's a kiss cam. Yeah, we know.
It is jumbo time here at Constellation Field. We head to the top of the ninth inning. The Skeeters hold a 6-3 lead over the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. Ryan Posner and Douglas Phelan in the booth here, spinning the ones and twos as we look for the second win of our 2019 season for your Sugar Land Skeeters. And in, as we mentioned, is Felipe Paulino, the Skeeters closer. Had a season for the books last year, 33 saves in 2018, which was the most in Skeeters history. 2-2 with a 1.18 ERA and 54 appearances. Doug already knows the stat, but I'm just going to throw it out anyway. That 1.18 ERA was the lowest of any pitcher in the league with at least 50 innings pitched. Struck out 72 guys last year as well, which is the most of any pitcher in the league with at least 60 innings pitched. And he'll get Craig Maddox here to lead things off, and Maddox fouls that one off to the left side. So Felipe Paulino this year, I don't remember him rocking the high socks last year, but he's rocking the high socks this year. The longtime big leaguer. He's got 6 seasons of Major League experience. Has pitched for the Houston Astros. That's where he began his career. They signed him, and he played with them mid-2000s.
Yeah, that beard just reads big, scary reliever.
And he throws fairly hard as well as Maddox fouls that one back. Felipe was just about unhittable last year. His ERA was 1.18, and the weird thing is that he let up a few runs toward the end of the year. If not for a couple tough outings at the end of the year, his ERA would have been below 1. He was below 1 almost the entire season. Just unhittable. And quickly 0-2 to Maddox. The check swing, they check it, and a ball. And as Doug was alluding to last inning, he does things like sign autographs out of the bullpen. One of the nicest guys on this team. 6'3", 270 pounds, so he can be an intimidating guy to go up and talk to. But once you talk to him, he's not intimidating at all. So 1-2 to Maddox, and he swings over the top of that one. Strike 3, Felipe Paulino with out number 1 here in the top of the ninth inning.
Yeah, you just hate to use that big cliche, big teddy bear.
But he is.
I mean,
totally is, as John Griffin steps on it, and John Griffin, he's a big man. He comes in at 6'6" with some big country power. Hit a home run back in the 6th inning. One of the 3 runs for the Blue Crabs tonight, his solo shot. Big man on big man here. In this battle of big man, I take the big man I appreciate, Felipe Paulino. He pours across strike 1. 1 away here in the top of the ninth. Skeeters lead the Blue Crabs 6-3. Just past the 8:30 mark here on a slightly breezy night at Constellation Field. Game number 3 of the Atlantic League Championship season. And Griffin hits that one fairly well over to Court. He fields it, throws it over to Loney, and 2 away here in the 9th inning. So Felipe Paulino 1 out away from logging to the first of what looks to be many saves on this season, and the only man in his way is Charlie Valerio, the catcher for the Blue Crabs. Charlie Valerio is 1 for 3 tonight. He singled back in the 2nd inning. Another great effort from the Skeeters bullpen so far. Alec Asher had the 3 runs allowed back in the 6th, but he threw a scoreless inning in the 7th. Matt West with a scoreless frame in the 8th, and Felipe Paulino 2 outs here in the 9th. And Valerio first pitch fouls that one back for strike 1. Roy Merritt got the start for your Skeeters. He threw 5 scoreless innings, struck out 2 on just 3 hits. Pitching coach for the Skeeters this year. A beautiful, beautiful season debut. The Skeeters look to move to 2-1 on the young season here. 0-1 the count to Charlie Valerio, and he takes outside for ball 1. So 1-1 the count. Felipe Paulino on the mound looking for his first save of the year. Jumbo as Charlie Valerio on a 1-1 count here. 2 down in the 9th inning. The 1-1 misses low and away. Quick glance at the Atlantic League scoreboard. As we mentioned, the Patriots won their first leg of a doubleheader tonight, 8-4 over the Bees. Patriots winning 12-1 now over the Bees in game 2. The Ducks up 11-0 over the Revolution. High Point with an 8-6 lead over Lancaster. And 2-1 the count to Valerio, and he fouls that one back. So High Point picked up the win last night in their franchise debut over Lancaster. They hold a 8-6 lead over the Barnstormers tonight in the bottom of the 9th inning. Long Island with an 11-0 lead over York in the 8th inning out there in York, Pennsylvania. And as you mentioned, the Somerset Patriots playing a doubleheader, but Felipe down to the last strike here in Sugar Land. 2-2 the count to Charlie Valerio, the catcher for the Blue Crabs. The 2-2 slapped into left field. Cody Ashley looks to be under it and raging to his left, makes the play and light up the Texas scoreboard. The Skeeters have picked up the dub tonight. Felipe Paulino logs his first save of the year, and the Skeeters are victorious 6-3 over the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. The Skeeters moved to 2-1 on the young season, their second straight win of the year. An absolutely beautiful night here at Constellation Field, and they punctuate it with a victory, their second straight over the Blue Crabs. We'll be back here for the Skeeters postgame show in just a few. Recap tonight's win for the Skeeters and set you up for tomorrow, as they'll play the Blue Crabs one more time here this weekend and 3 more times next week. Enter the Skeeters beat the Blue Crabs 6-3 tonight here at Constellation Field. We'll be back here in just a few.
Thank you, Shane. It's a bit windy down here, but let's go through this. While I'm at home, I have this can jam. If you can make it in there, you win batting practice for 10 people. There's going to be one winner. Over here on the first base side, in that far hula hoop, I have 4 winners for a first pitch. In this other hula hoop, I have unlimited amount of winners for some Skeeters tickets. Swatson's holding that net right there. If you get it inside of his net, you win a one-on-one with the Skeeter. On the third base side, I have in this first hula hoop closest to home, I have 2 winners for a 2-pack of Nitro Circus tickets. In the middle, in that unicorn, if you get it in there, there is 1 winner, and you're going to be a winner of 3 innings in the bullpen. And over there in that far hula hoop, I have unlimited winners for some Skeeters tickets. And last, I could not forget the big prize out there at second base. If you get it in the basketball hoop out there, you are going to be the winner of a Hlinka RTV, which is worth $15,000. I want to see if you can throw it that far. Get your tennis balls ready. In 3, 2, 1, launch them. All right, we got some action on the first base side. Any winners over there yet on third base? Not yet. Keep throwing them. I want to see someone go for second base. Who's going to throw their tennis ball all the way out there? Try to get it in that RTV. Close, close. Keep throwing them.
It was a great night here in Sugar Land, folks. The Skeeters worked themselves into a 6-3 victory over the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. They moved to 2-1 on the season, and let's go into tonight's recap here on the Skeeters postgame show as launch ball is going on here at Constellation Field. As I mentioned, the Skeeters won 6-3 tonight. Roy Merritt got the start through 5 scoreless innings. He picks up the victory, allowed just 3 hits, no runs, 2 strikeouts. The offense was alive tonight. Cody Ashley led off the game with a home run in the bottom of the first. Skeeters played 2 more runs in the second, punctuated by a 2-run RBI single from Ryan Court. They tacked on 2 more runs in the third inning, an RBI single from CJ McElroy, an RBI single from Cody Stanley. That was all the scoring for the Skeeters tonight, but that was more than enough. The Blue Crabs tacked on 3 in the 6th inning, including an RBI triple from Frank Martinez and a solo home run from John Griffin, their first baseman. Roy Merritt, as we mentioned, takes the win. He moves to 1-0 on the year. Brandon Compton got the start for the Blue Crabs in 4 innings, allowed 6 runs, 4 earned on 7 hits. He takes the loss and moves 0-1. And in the 9th inning, the best closer in the Atlantic League came in and locked it down. Felipe Paulino, an inning of work, struck out 1, picked up his first save of the year. Alec Asher allowed 3 runs in 2 innings of relief. Matt West, a scoreless 8th inning. He gets his first hold of the year. He struck out 2 in an 8th inning of work. And as we mentioned, your Skeeters moved to 2-1 on the year, and now I'm still joined to my right by Doug Fairley. Doug, you joined me for the better half of the end of that game. What were some of your thoughts from that Skeeters dub?
Well, first, Boz, I'm glad that I didn't jinx the pitchers there. You know, I made that comment right as Alec came in, and then he gave up 3 runs. Thankfully, the boys were able to keep it together and get it locked up with Felipe coming in there in the end to get his first save of the season.
Yeah, it was a very traditional Skeeters win. 6 runs. Felipe Paulino comes in and locks down the save. Roy Merritt was nails in his first start of the year. And, well, that's going to do it for us here from the Skeeters broadcast booth. The Skeeters are a 6-3 winner tonight. Game number 3, well, got to love baseball because we'll be right back here tomorrow afternoon, I should say, at 2:05 p.m. start. The Blue Crabs and the Skeeters. Left-hander Pat Dean going to get the start, and right-hander Kevin McGowan is going to get the start for your Skeeters as they move to 2-1 on the young season. A great Saturday night at the ballpark. Ryan Posner here broadcasting to you. We'll be back here tomorrow afternoon. You're listening to Sugarland Skeeters Baseball. We'll see you guys here tomorrow.